We go live now to Broward County, Florida. That is where Court TV field producer Emanuella Grinberg is at the courtroom right now. Emanuella, I know you were one of just 5 reporters to actually get to go to the crime scene today. What was that experience like?
Hi, Joy. It was just very surreal. What we saw today was really the culmination of the state's case, the culmination of tons of exhibits, video, photos that the jury has seen, and actually I myself have seen as one of 5 members of the media pool that was able to view exhibits and photos and video throughout the trial. And really it just kind of brought to life everything that we had been seeing. You see them in videos and photos, and you know, they're sort of static images, but this was really like walking through a scene that was just frozen in time. One classroom had on the whiteboard a description. They were monitoring the 2018 Winter Olympics. They were monitoring the medal count for the 2018 Winter Olympics. So just to, you know, take us all back in time to how long this has been coming, and especially for the families of all the victims.
Emanuella, I know you've been so you know, diligent about sharing your observations from the courtroom and sharing what our cameras can't capture. And so, of course, we don't show jurors. But you reported to us previously that the jurors, some of them had cried during victim impact statements. Did you see any of that kind of emotion during this jury view today?
Well, how the jury view played out was the jurors left from the courthouse this morning. They went to the courthouse, and the media followed in a separate vehicle behind them. And the media was not allowed to go through the crime scene with the jury. That was one of the conditions of allowing the media to go. And so we did not really see any emotions. Well, we couldn't see any emotions from them, but from the still photographers who were watching them from a distance, they were able to note as the jurors entered the crime scene that at least one of them appeared to put their arm around another one, as if, you know, giving them support. So, but throughout the case, they were pretty stoic throughout most of the case, right up until those victim impact statements. And you know, here at Court TV, we listen to a lot of victim impact statements, but there's really something about just the cumulative compounding effect of listening to statement after statement after statement for 17 people, and not just one person for each 17 victim, but in many cases, like we heard today, 2 or 3 representatives on behalf of each family member. So it's been an emotional journey for sure. Absolutely. It's not over yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What about the rules in place for that jury view? Can you share a little bit about that?
And now you're standing there in that space.
Oh, yes. It was, you know, jury views are pretty unusual, as we know, at Court TV, so there was a lot of discussion about how it would play out. This happened over the defense's strenuous objections many, many times, and so even the jury, so for example, the defense wanted the jury view to be recorded. They didn't get, that didn't go their way. They also did not want the jury to wander through the classrooms, which also they were allowed to do, as were the members of the media. But some of the rules that were set forth for them was that they had to wear closed-toed shoes, as we all did, because of the tremendous amount of broken, shattered glass, like thick glass that you could just feel crunching underfoot as you walk through those hallways. So you can definitely see why we needed closed-toe shoes. And they were actually offered booties if they wanted to take advantage of those. And they were not allowed to, they were allowed to wander freely, you know, not like through the hallways, but they couldn't point out anything. They couldn't talk to each other. They couldn't ask any questions. A lot of like similar, you know, decorum, you know, that they have to observe in the courtroom. They couldn't take notes, which is something, you know, they're typically allowed to do. They couldn't take notes because this is not typically considered evidence. It's just to help them in their interpretation of the evidence. And they also were advised to dress casually and comfortably because they also walked not only through the hallways of the building, but also the exteriors, the field where crews ran and exited the building too.
You know, often these jury views are done on the crime scene to help the jurors understand the layout, right, and just kind of how the scene fits into the narratives of each side. Was there a floor plan that was given as well?
Yes, well, the floor plan was not for the jury, but it was for the media, because we didn't know how much time we would have when we had our chance to go through it. We wanted to be as prepared as possible, so the media coordinators handed out some floor plans for us that we all took notes on, and we were just frantically scribbling down observations, you know, floor to floor. We were able to, we understand that we basically retraced their steps, and the way that it went was that we entered through the side of the building that crews entered through. We went through the first floor, up to the second floor, through the second floor, up to the third floor, and through the third floor. And throughout, we're just frantically scribbling, you know, notes of Valentine's Day cards. Like I said, frozen in time, Valentine's Day cards. This happened on, as we know, February 14th, 2018. Like boxes of chocolate, balloons deflated among the shards of glass from the broken classroom door windows. You know, just a very tactile experience. And but the floor plans were very helpful for the media as we were rushing through, taking notes on what we saw.
Emanuella, you have covered dozens of cases all across the country for Court TV. Does this compare to anything that you've seen so far?
No. I can only think of one other jury view that you and I, Joy, have gone on, I believe in Ohio, for an arson case. But, you know, generally, jury views are considered they can be, you know, considered prejudicial. That's what the defense argued in this case, that they can be considered unnecessary if there are videos and photographs. And I will say, though, even having seen all those videos and photographs, walking through the scene and just, you know, following in the footsteps, it really did bring it together. It helped me understand a little better how everything, all the pieces, you know, how they all fit together. And, you know, when we saw Cruz in the video, you know, pointing his gun, darting around back and forth, it did put it into perspective. But just, you know, from the jury view to the overwhelming amount of victim impact statements, I'd say this is unlike any other case I've covered.
Wow, it's incredible. And Emanuella Grinberg, I just want our viewers to know, is on the ground for dozens of cases for Court TV. You may not always see her on television, but just want to thank you for your diligent reporting as always, whether you're off air or on air, and helping us understand what's happening, the latest with every trial here at Court TV. So thank you for that. Emanuella joining us live from Florida for that report.